Okay, now can you guys hear me? Hello, can you guys hear me now? Let me know. Let me know. Hello, can you guys hear me now? Okay, good. All right, now we can get started. Would be when I do a pop-up stream, has to be something to happen. But guess what? We're gonna get this conversation going. All right, guys. So we're gonna have this conversation here, and we are talking about USC, and they have their first Black Majorette troop. Now, to many of you, that probably doesn't sound like it's anything special, but there's a big, okay, thank you. There's a big thing going on, especially as far as this conversation and a backlash about it. So I definitely wanted to have that conversation with you guys so we can discuss this. And the issue, is it even worth a conversation? Just so you guys can know a little backdrop on this, there was a big conversation going on as far as USC. So if you don't know, that is a university of, I think, Southern California. And it is a PWI. This is what people call predominantly white college. All right. And if you don't know, as far as majorettes and where they perform and that style of dance, it's mostly seen at historically Black colleges, right? Mostly during the halftime show is when they will do the performance, and a lot of times they travel. I don't know if you guys have seen the shows like the Dancing Dolls and all those different shows. That's kind of the style if you don't know what this type of dancing is. But the big issue on social media is there's a huge backlash because people are saying that they shouldn't be there at USC. They said they should maybe come to a historically Black college and do this instead of going there. I mean, it's all kind of conversations, but I definitely want to talk to you guys about this and just kind of dive into it and see your perspective on that. So once again, I am Mrs. B Finesse of millennialfinessemindset.com. And guys, we have these conversations. We talk about mindful mindset and finesse mindset. And finesse just stands for faithfully innovate to inspire to be naturally effective and seek success every day. And that's what we do. We have conversations on all things dealing with us being successful, seeking success, and hope you guys enjoy this conversation that we're going to have here today, guys. So once again, let me kind of break this down if you did not know what was going on. All right, so let me get the article up. All right, so once again, guys, USC students are bashed. She's bashed for starting a Black Majorette team at a PWI. So if you don't know, like I told you, PWI is standing for Predominantly White Institution. And if you don't know, HBCU, historically Black colleges, just to make sure I'm clarifying this for everybody so everybody understands, right? So let's get into this conversation. It says a Black student started a majorette team at a predominantly white college she attends, and everyone doesn't think this is good news. So you would think, okay, she's an innovator. Why are people having an issue with her starting this majorette dance team? So let's break down both sides so you guys can see what's going on. It says on Twitter, the student shared an 8-second clip of the Cardinal Divas of the University of Southern California. She expressed her excitement about the team she started having their first, as she stated, having their first performance. All right, let me get them up so you guys can see. There they are. It says, she says, nothing. She says, I created a majorette team at a PWI and performed at our first game. She wrote, truly, though I'm so blessed and I can't thank God enough. Thank you to my parents and to everyone who supported me along this journey, and my girls, the Cardinal Divas of SC, and we're up next. All right. So once again, she just posted like an 8-second clip. Let me try to get it so you guys can see it. And people got extremely mad, guys. So from what I read and what I was seeing, just basically in general, the context of this is people feel like the as far as this style of dancing and this way of actually dancing and performing, it is something done at historically Black colleges, and it should be something that's, I guess they want it left at historically Black colleges. It should be something that you shouldn't do in other places and spaces. But to me, just briefly, looking at it on the outside looking in, if you're thinking about when you go to college, and if any of you, I know most of you have been to college, but just for the general group of people, especially watching on replay, when you do go to college, that is when you see all different types of people and all different types of cultures. So the fact that a lot of people were like super mad because that she started this at a predominantly white college, which is USC, it was odd to me, the backlash, but we're going to see both sides, and I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. All right. And also too, the singer or artist, I think her name's Sweetie. She actually joined the conversation and debate about all this. And it's just so, it doesn't baffle me or boggle me at all, because I know people always want to have something to say about a situation. But the whole concept of, when you really think about it, people kind of judging her, saying she shouldn't do it, in the midst of, you don't know how hard it was for her probably started. If she's at a PWI and she probably doesn't have a lot of maybe help or people that are pushing for her to do something, and she's basically being the first person to start it on her own, it's just interesting what people put that much energy into doing something on their own without help, instead of speaking against somebody, right? So let's see. It says on April 20th, her name is Princess Isis Lang, took a wild quiz. It says the interactive quiz company is, oops, I'm reading the wrong thing. Sorry. Okay, so Lang, 20. She is currently a musical theater major at the University of Southern California and the creator of the Cardinal Divas, the school first ever majorette team. She was a majorette at a Chicago high school and didn't want to let go of dance when she left home for college. Now, I know that the majorette dancing is very, very big in the South. Definitely most of the historically Black colleges and the colleges in the South, especially if they're predominantly Black or historically Black, they most of them have a majorette dance team, and it's very common in the high schools and middle schools and elementary for them to have these majorette teams. So it's something like they started in elementary and it just happens all through school, and then college. A lot of these girls have been doing it for like 12, 15 years, right? And so she's from Chicago. She says she did it in Chicago. She said heading to USC wasn't always a finite part of the plan, but she had a difficult time finding a school that would meet her needs. She said, noting she wanted a conservatory style environment, right? She says, I did want to attend an HBCU. She says, it just didn't really work out for me. I didn't want to stay in college longer and pay so much more. This is interesting. She says, I didn't want to stay in college longer and pay so much more money when I knew that there was another school that had the opportunities, connections, and believed in me the same way. Another sidebar too, guys. I don't know how many have attended or been to a historically Black college, but it's funny to me how people think about it on the outside looking in. Because I went to a HBCU, right? So unless you've been there, you don't know that many historically Black colleges, a lot of people that come there, they come from out of the state and out of the country. So we have a lot of international students. That come, right? So the simple fact that they're saying to her that as far as culture wise, that she shouldn't want to show her culture, or she should want to do that maybe at an HBCU. It's interesting to me because HBCUs have a lot of international students. And also too interesting, apparently now HBCUs must cost a lot because like I told you guys, they market a lot to people internationally, and international students love especially going to specific style colleges. So there is a good population of international students. And guys too, a lot of historically Black colleges now, they are becoming where Blacks are the minority at them. Many of them. And this is because a lot of the programs there are actually really good at a lot of historically black colleges. So all people want to come, white, black, every race, Hispanic, all people want to come to a place that has good education. So it's not just it's marketed to black people anymore. And that was, I say, about 10, 15, maybe 20 years ago. If you don't know, historically black colleges are not just marketed to black people. And they actually talked about that too. In a forum, they were saying that we started or were founded for black people, but we want everybody to come. We want everybody to come to our schools. And if you think about that logically, yes, you do want everybody to come to your school, because this is how you bring in the money and you bring in the profit to take care and market the school and be able to have things at the school, right? So shout out to those that are here. We have Big Bad Bull, a channel member. Shout out to you. Thank you always for your support, Big Bad Bull, and you sharing the channel and you referring it to other people to come. So thank you for that. And once again, if you haven't consider joining the Finesse family channel membership. We have all kind of extra videos and perks with that, and it just really helps support the channel and everything that we have to do to put into the channel. So shout out to you, Big Bad Boy. Thank you for being here. And Big Ben, shout out to you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. Now let's get back into this. So if you're just getting in here, make sure you hit the thumbs up. Make sure you share this. We got a pop-up late night stream. You guys want it, so I'm giving it to you. This is the topic you guys want me to discuss, and we are talking about this backlash between HBCUs and PWIs. HBCU is a historically black college. PWIs are predominantly white institutions, and there is always something going on. I guess it's Twitter, and now it's become everywhere. There's this backlash of this lady right here, and she started a Majorette dance group. And if you don't know what the Majorette dance group, those of you from the South, I know you probably know, but it is a dancing group, and they usually perform during the halftime or during the games, and they're akin to the cheerleaders, but they dance, right? So dance troops, right? And they're majorettes. So she goes to USC, and USC is a PWI. So when I say PWI, that's what it's standing for, because I'm gonna start just saying PWI when I'm talking, right? That's a predominantly white college. And the backlash with many people, and I'm going to show you guys the comments too, and then we'll just have a discussion together to see where you guys really feel about this. Is this even a topic to discuss? Is this young lady innovative for her, going out of her way to create a space for her to feel culturally accepted and for her to feel at home? Or do you feel like she should have went to a HBCU and she should have just did it there? Now, I do think, to me, when I think about that, that sounds very kind of inclusively tunneling, to tell her that she has to go a certain place and be a certain way, when if she goes there and she shows her culture and she shows, you know, who she is and her dynamics, you don't know how that could change, you know, that whole sporting division, or what money they would funnel into if they see that, you know, culturally she can bring all kind of diversity to that population. So I don't know if anybody's been to USC, or we have any USC people in the chat. Let me know. Speak on this, right? We have Mrs. Javita. Hey, Miss Javita, she was a member of the day last stream. I appreciate you coming back and supporting and being here. So we're going to have this conversation. I definitely want to know what you guys think. Once again, let me kind of preface what we've talked about so far. Yes, and make sure you guys share this right now. Share this with somebody. I want to have this group conversation, especially those of you that have been to historically black colleges, those of you maybe that have went to PWIs, predominantly white colleges. I definitely want to hear your story, and I want to hear your perception of how you felt in your own skin in HBCU or a PWI, right? So this young lady, she started a Majorette dance group, and she showed like an 8-second clip of herself on social media, and social media kind of went crazy. I think it was mostly the black sector, but they were basically saying that she shouldn't use her culture here at this PWI, because what they'll do is just steal it. And they were saying she should go to a HBCU, and they were just saying all these things, but I'm wondering really what they're doing. It's so interesting to me, guys, how people will say and tell you what you need to do, but never get up out of their seat to even try. And even though this might affect so many people in so many ways, I really do believe the effort, nobody knows what this lady went through to get this thing going. She probably had to walk up a huge milestone, guys, to get this stuff started. And the sheer fact of once she shows, she's happy, she's excited about, this group of Black ladies in this whole institution of mostly majority white, probably, I don't know, UCS is probably 80%, UCS is probably 80% white. Somebody can look up the demographics for me. I don't want to lie to y'all, but UCS, that's a huge big college in California. I know that. So let's kind of break it down again. She basically said, guys, in a nutshell, that she wanted to be a place where she could feel that, the education was good. And also she said she looked into going to HBCUs. But she said apparently the cost was so much more, exorbitant. And I can speak on that because I know that probably in the last 10 or so years, the cost of all colleges have gone up probably 20 or 30%. But HBCUs, I keep telling you guys, as somebody that went to an HBCU, it is very much marketed, and it is very much something that is looked upon very well out of the country, internationally. People love going to HBCUs because the experience of a smaller university, it's not huge like these big universities, but they can still get that one-on-one feel of being in a classroom. Also, guys, in HBCUs, there are a lot of international teachers. I remember a lot of my teachers were from all other countries. I had a lot of from India. I had some teachers from Asia, some from Africa, actually. And so it was awesome because I had all kind of teachers. It was just inclusive too. Also because, like I said, me personally, I grew up in predominantly white area schools, everything. So my choice, I could have went to Division I top 10 schools because of my grades. I had very good grades and I played sports, but I wanted that experience to go to the HBCU. So I chose that instead of the Division I bigger schools, and I loved it and enjoyed it. Let's see. Why can't she make Black space? And that's the conversation we're going to have, Javita. That's the conversation because I want you guys to hear both sides, and then we're going to discuss it because it was interesting to me as I was reading it. I went to Graham. It was interesting to me as I was reading it, how people were nitpicking. To me, that's my perspective. It was so nitpicking because, I mean, if you think about it, flip, just like Miss Javita said, what is wrong with her being her true self in her own and making her own space in college? Because last time I checked, that's the reason people go to college. The reason you go to college really is to diversify yourself. And if you go to college and you're not diversified, I don't know what you did in college, because it's hard not to, because there's so many different people, types of people, cultures, backgrounds of people in a college setting. And I always tell my students that, especially when I teach young adults or teens, when you do go to college, or you go to maybe a university or even a community college, you're going to see so many diverse groups of people. And it's great to see diverse groups of people because it makes you culturally aware, and it just makes you a better person. You can't stay in your own nutshell, in your own little incubator, in your own little space your whole life, because you will never really know the fullness of life until you know about different people, different cultures, why they do what they do. And it doesn't mean you have to agree with it, but the fact that you know it makes you so much more rounded. You get a more understanding of the world. And I think that is the real problem. People kind of want to stay in their bubble. They want to stay in, this is what I do, this is who I am, and you do not evolve. And that's literally what's given in life. There will always be change. That's what the word says. It says there'll be seasons, they'll come and go. So you have to be able to want to experience that. And it's just so interesting. So let me break it down. Let me get into it. Once again, guys, sharing is caring. Go ahead and share this. I did a stream for you guys, evening pop-up stream. So let's go. So basically, once again, this is what she says. She says, once she was accepted to USC, Lang had to reconcile with the fact that there was no all-Black dance team that practiced Majorette style dance. So I'm pretty sure, because I know some of you are asking, well, don't they have a dance team? They did, because I think pretty much all colleges have that dance team that's with the band. They kind of coincide with the band. But she said she wanted majorette style dance. So for those of you that are really into this and you want to know like the exact wording, another word that they call this is, I think it's called jet setting. That's kind of the style, what that dance is called. And then, like I said, a lot of people, especially in the South, this is something that is a lot of parents put their children, just like they do in these pageants, they put them in these dance groups for camaraderie, for the students to have something where they can stay focused on, something they're committed to. And it's very, very prominent, especially in the South. And I know now it's prominent in a lot of places. So she said, so she told her mother that she wanted to create a dance team, but wasn't sure if she could. During her sophomore year, she met Mark Minson, one of USC's associate directors of recreational sports, and she pitched to him the idea, and he says that he was instrumental in making it happen. So that's awesome, guys, because they could have told her no. So that's awesome that they actually offered to the main person in the recreational sports said he's gonna make it happen. All right. She said, if it weren't for him, I don't know if my majorette team would be where it's at right now. He really believed in me and didn't even question anything. See, that's what I'm talking about, right? You need to have, oh, thank you, BGH. Shout out to you. Thank you for the super, thanks. No comment, just the love. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, BGA. And BGH is also a channel member. So shout out to the channel members. Once again, if you want to support and join, hit the join button. All right. All right, guys. And also, guys, too. Finesse fam merch. All right. So if you want to get some merch right here, don't quit, do it. I do have a merch store this link too, so check out the merch store on my website, millennialfinessemindset.com, or here at YouTube. All right, so let's get back. She said Lang then applied to have her team recognized as a school organization, and the process took months, and that is true. It takes a long time to get your organization, team, whatever, registered, because there's a process. They don't just let anybody just do things on the campus. It has to be registered, it has to go through a process. And then she said, finally in March 2022, she got it, right? So September, it says the Divas made their formal debate at USC versus Fresno State. Lang came to realize she built something that could catch the country's attention after she posted a clip of it on Twitter. The video took off and now has 2.4 million views. It feels kind of like a miracle, she says. It is all too good to be true. Now I'm just really wondering, after guys, listen, after people do all this and they see this and they hear her story and they hear what she went through, the first thing you could think of is like, why are you not doing this at an HBCU? Why are you doing that with the PWI people? Like, that's the first thing you guys can think. Like, it just, but listen, let me tell you something. I'm not shocked. I'm never shocked about people saying stuff contrary, because a lot of times people just want to pick at anything. And I'm noticing that. I think a lot of people just like to be socially heard, and they just say stuff to be saying it, right? I don't even think they agree with what they're saying, right? I think they say stuff to say it. I don't think they think about what they're saying. So let me get this up. All right, so we're gonna play this video so you guys can see it. Hey Aisha, hopefully you're having a great day. She says, Mrs. B Finesse, peace and blessings. Shout out to you. Shout out to the chat, she says. And what about community colleges? Aisha, I'm not sure what I was saying when you stated that, so can you add on to that so I can answer your question? All right, so here it is, guys. And this is somebody, her name is Princess. She sent this on Twitter. She says, oh, no, oh, this is her. Her name is Princess on Twitter, my bad. All right, so let me make this big so you guys can see this, the little clip of it. Hold on a second. Once again, make sure you hit that like button, guys. You're here. You're with me. We're talking. We're family. Hit the like button and share. Sharing is caring. Let's have this group conversation. What we are talking about, if you're just getting in, we're talking about this historically black colleges versus PWI, which is predominantly white institutions, and should black spaces, black faces have things in predominantly white institutions? Should they have their club? Should they have their dance group? Should they have their meetings? Should they have their whatever they want to have? Should they have it? Because the issue here with this group is that people are saying these girls should have did this at a predominantly black college. They should not go to this predominantly white college and do all these quote unquote black dances and things that should be at historically black colleges. And I definitely want to have this conversation because, like I said, I know that people are so quick on social media to say something, but they don't put no effort into doing something. You heard me? They'll say something, but they don't put no effort into doing something. And it's so interesting to me what people have to say, but I want to show you guys. I'm going to get it up and we're going to talk about some celebrities. I guess they've been talking about this, and then we're going to have this conversation. Do you guys, and this is the full running call to action question that I'm asking you guys throughout this. Is this really something that is worth discussion as far as, are people just wasting breath and energy complaining about what this young lady has done? Or is it something to be, that's positive? There's something that should be shown a light to, and this lady should shine for this. I really want to know what you guys think, right? So this is her post on Twitter. And she says, "Oh, nothing. I created a majorette team at a PWI and performed at our first game. Truly, though, I'm so blessed and I can't thank God enough. Thank you to my parents and to everyone who supported me along this journey." And she says, "Cardinal Divas is SC are up next." So here she is. And it's so funny when I see that, it always takes me back, because that's basic homecoming. I mean, not homecoming. That's halftime show. That's basic HBCU football games. Sometimes the basketball games. I mean, it's just solidified and stuck in and ingrained if you went to a HBCU. So, yep, that's what she put. And let's get into what people were saying. Right? It says the video reignited the HBCU versus predominantly white institution debate. So crazy. Well, what are you debating? Like, honestly, like, seriously. It says, with some social media users taking offense to Lang bringing black men. And this is the issue right here, guys. This is what the hullabaloo, I guess you could say, is all about. This is what the issue is about. Okay. So this is it. It says, some social media users were taking offense with Lang bringing black majorette culture to a PWI. The phrase PWI occupied the number 2 spot for United States Twitter trends on the 19th. And then this is what it says. It says, there are a lot of negative comments that are going around, but I think the bigger picture of everything is really just to support black women and uplift black women everywhere, Lang says. She says, I appreciate and applaud everybody that has gone to a HBCU or PWI, but I'm just here to open up a space for the black woman at my PWI because we deserve to uplift and embrace our culture just as much as anybody else. And it's so interesting to me why people have a problem with her doing that. All right. Let's see. Hey, Rochelle Davis. Hopefully you're having a great day. Good to see you again. I haven't seen your name in a minute. Shout out to you. Let's see. Aisha says, people always praising HBCUs or PWIs, but never about community college. That is true. That is really true, Aisha. And it's interesting to me, the lie that has been told. So let me spend some time on that really quickly, about even just big universities compared to community colleges, or compared to students not spending a lot of money to get a certain degree, because that's been the push. People have really pushed people to spend a lot of money on degrees, and if you spend a lot of money, then it means like your degree was really worth something because you spent a lot of money on it. And we've noticed now with all the people that are in student loan debt and having all these issues, that a lot of times you really need to analyze it. And this is what I do a lot with parents, especially consulting with them about how to help their child figure out what type of school to even go to, and if it needs to be a community college or if it needs to be a university or a specialized college. Because a lot of times we get so caught up on the name of a college, or we get so caught up on being at a specific place, that the degree is not conducive to what we actually, the job per se, right? So yeah, there's community colleges that, and a lot of people have been to community colleges, they can speak on that have done just as well and even save money and not been in debt compared to going to these big universities, traveling, paying traveling expenses, paying money to live there, paying for books and things of that nature, and then they ended up in debt. So yes, community colleges get a bad rap, and a lot of them you can do the same thing. Now, if you want to be like a doctor, a lawyer, specialized trades and fields, that's different. You definitely might want to talk to somebody and get some clarity or clarification on what maybe college to go to expand your path in something like that, because you need specialized degrees and things of that nature. But a lot of times, guys, if you take time to research and you get somebody to kind of help you analyze and look through that, you'll find that community colleges, a lot of them, you can get the same thing and you won't be in debt compared to going to these big colleges. And, we've seen that, I say the past maybe 20 or 30 years, how a whole generation of people are just snowballed in debt. And a lot of people also too, they feel like going to college is going to help further their career path. And then they come to find out that really and truly, whatever they were doing, there's like a glass ceiling there. So you might get a higher degree, but they might not want to pay you that much. So all the money that you pay to get that degree is not conducive to the back end of the raise that you get, right? And we're seeing that a lot. A lot of times we're seeing that people feel like they need to go to college to break past that glass ceiling. And then they find out when they go to college that it didn't really make a dent of a difference. Unless you are trying to maybe expand to another position as far as promoting maybe on the second or third high level. But a lot of times it really doesn't. Also too, the increase, and I've talked about that on videos where I talked about the price of college and school and how much more it costs. And for it to be almost 2 to 3 times what it was 10 or 15 years ago is ridiculous. And when you go to a lot of other places or countries where school is free, it's just so interesting, the dichotomy of it. And then when you think about too, these institutions, and I talked about that on that video I did. I think I talked about what the secret cost was to debt consolidation or debt forgiveness and all that stuff. The thing is, guys, that the prices of the schools are going to go up. People don't realize that, because the schools are getting, people are getting their debts paid, and the money and the kickback is schools are going to charge more, because they know more people are going to go to college, right? So, all right, so let's break this down again. It says majorettes are known for their technical dances and the mix of forms of black dances. Majorettes at historically black colleges and universities revolutionized the way people view marching bands, and that's true. They are much more than baton twirlers, and they have an undeniable presence in performing in front of 35 or 35,000 people. All right, let's see. Okay, so here's a little background. It says majorettes were at HBCU culture, and they literally are. They are pure HBCU culture, right? Let's break this down. All right. It says beginning in the 1960s, high schools and colleges began integrating the young women into the marching bands. It says Alcorn State University, Southern University, and Jackson State are acknowledged as the first HBCUs to present dancers. All right. They became a nice blend with the steppers of black sororities and spirited cheerleaders. And LaCarol Jackson, graduate of Grambling State University, woohoo, says majorettes were admired during her college years. And they were during my years too in college. HBCU culture includes band, dancing, and beautiful ladies in the front. And they are the center of attraction. All right. It says majorette energy has been channeled in mainstream culture many times since they've gained popularity. And this is true. If you guys watch and pay attention to any movie, any video, music video, that whole kind of dance line, or that role women that are moving and dancing, it's kind of that style and the energy of majorettes, right? Let's see. It says Charles Stone III, who directed Drumline, which features Zoe Sandala as one of the leaders of the Drumline in the Atlanta ATA University. That was a fictional movie about kind of what majorettes do. And then it says in 2018, global superstar Beyonce brought the glamour and skill of majorettes to her Coachella performance. And this is also in 2021. It says Met Gala gymnast Nia Dennis took inspiration from majorettes in her routine to start. All right, that must be her. All right. So, anyways, let's see. It says Backlash. The backlash Lang and her crew have faced isn't stopping anything. As she says, we'll see more. You'll see more of the team this season. We look forward to seeing us at the home games on the big screen, showing little black girls that they can do anything. We just want to show everybody and these other dance teams at UCS and across the country what we can do. All right. So there she is. And let me get up specifically what people were saying on the website. And then we're going to discuss this, guys, because I definitely want to see if you guys agree or disagree with what these people are saying. And you guys said you attended one. Which one? What colleges did you guys attend? Put them in the chat. Because some of you said you went to HBCUs. What college did you guys attend? Was it a PWI, Predominantly White Institution, or was it an HBCU? Put it in the chat. Let me know. Which college did you attend? HBCU, PWI. Go ahead and shout it out if you want to. Let's see. Let me get up this other article so you guys can see it. And then stop sharing screen. And we're going to share this screen. Once again, get the lights up. Sharing is caring. Go ahead and share this. Share. All right. Oh, stop sharing. Okay. Give me a second, guys. All right. And let's see if we can get this one out. All right, so we're going to go over the different comments people were saying so you guys can hear just how intense this kind of got. Okay. All right, UCS major. Okay, there we go. All right, here we go. It says USC. I keep saying UCS. My bad, guys. Once again, tell me in the chat. Some of you said you went to HBCUs. Tell me you went to a PWI or HBCU and tell me which one. It says USC student receives backlash. All right. So here, we're looking at the tweets now. Let me get to them. Okay. So this person says Aya Alopi. All right. They said, in this very specific example, I get the outrage. That style cheer is specifically HBCU. And I say that as a PWI alum. Sorry, but sometimes we really gotta gatekeep. What? You guys hear what they're saying? They say we really gotta gatekeep. We're talking about cultural identity. If a bunch of white girls did this, you'd be upset. And rightly so. So are we in agreement with that statement? Yes or no? Are you guys in agreement with what they just said? And then this person responded to what this person said. Aya, whatever. All right. And this person says, and a bunch of white girls will be doing this right at that school in a few years. Bank on it. So do you guys care? Does that matter to you if something specifically out of culture, especially black culture, which is almost everything that trends? Do you guys care if the predominantly at the PWI, the kids there, especially the white kids, start doing this style of dance? I mean, does it make a big difference? Because guess what? If anybody wants to do it, they're going to do it anyways, right? I mean, you can't really tell them they can't do it. And I mean, we know through history how a lot of times, even going back to the music industry, how a lot of white artists admitted that a lot of their songs were cover. So the style and the words and everything was written by black artists, but they could not be on TV. They couldn't be on the radio. So they would just sing their songs and they would take them for their own. And if you don't know historically, guys, a lot of things, and this is the thing that got me, because if you just kind of do a little bit of, what is it called? Constructive thinking, you would know. Like, think back. If we really think about historically, why would they make tools for the farm? Why would the master make that? Why would the owners make that? They don't need it. They have workers. So if you really think about the different tools that were made to make farming easier, to make cropping easier, to make getting baling things and all that easier, wouldn't be the people that are actually doing the work because they don't want to work hard. So there were a lot of what do they call it, products and inventions made that that a lot of black people made, but they didn't know anything about patents and they didn't know about trademarks. They didn't know about any of that because nobody told them. So a lot of things are copied, but people didn't get their they didn't get the right to claim it, put it that way. And that happens all the time, guys. It happens all the time. You got to be quick on that. Trademark your stuff, copyright it, all that, right? So let's see. What's up? We got Wally in the building. Okay, Big Ben says VSU. Wally says PWI, private white institution. Private white institution, predominantly Wally. So once again, guys, if you're just coming in, make sure you hit the thumbs up. Sharing is caring. We're having this conversation. I want to know what you guys think about this. There is a whole debate going on in Backlash. Let me get this up so you guys can see. USC student receives backlash for starting a majorette team at a predominantly white college. So basically, this young lady here, her name's Miss Lane. She started the first black majorette dance team at a predominantly white university, which is Southern California University, or USC. Huge, big college. Pretty much everybody that knows anything about college, sports, football, all that, they know USC, right? And sorry if I say UCS sometimes, whatever. It's just a slip of the word, right? So basically the conversation we're having is it was trending on Twitter like a day or so ago. I think Black Twitter too, and it just became bigger. But people were saying that this is something that this young lady should not do at this PWI because it is stamped only for black people and only black people should do it. And it will be culturally stolen swiftly, right? And so the conversation at hand is we're going to go through kind of what different responses people were saying and if it's even that serious or not. Because to me, it's so interesting because understanding the nature of this lady, even if she didn't go to a historically black college, okay, and I mean, there's more predominantly white colleges than historically blacks anyway. So the likelihood of people going to a PWI is pretty high because there's more of them than historically black colleges. And this young lady gave her reasoning to why. She was saying the historically black colleges she was looking at, apparently she couldn't afford them. They cost too much for specifically what she was going to school for. So let's look at these. It says, once this tweet began picking up traction, since people began pouring in their opinions. This is starting off with some of the critiques. A couple users said that by bringing the HBCU dance and cheer style to a PWI, is basically giving white students a new piece of black culture to appropriate. Do you guys believe that? Do you really think that that's it should be, what's the word? Do you really think it should be why can't I think of the word? Suppressed. Just because somebody might steal it? You think these girls shouldn't be doing it just because they think somebody might steal it? What do you guys think? All right, so let's see. Okay, here's another one. This is to what Ms. Princess said. It says, others suggested that while the team's routine was great, a PWI shouldn't have been blessed with a majorette team. So now they saying they mad because the team is so, I guess, good in their eyes that they shouldn't be there. They should be with the black people. They should be at a black school. You guys agree or disagree with that? So basically this one says, girl, this is fire, but why would you give them that? So she's basically saying, why this talent, why this energy, why are you giving that to a predominantly white institution? I mean, it's just amazing to me. And the girl, and this lets me know a lot of people don't do critical thinking because she actually explained why she couldn't or didn't go to a HBCU, and people are still just kind of just digging into this so deep. Okay, and then this is another person says, this is I'm not gonna read his name, but I'll read what he said. He says, this is nice. He says, but we have to keep things for us sacred. Do you guys agree? Do we have to keep things for us sacred? Right? And let me know, do you guys agree with what the people are saying so far, that this needs to be something just for Black people, just for us? We don't need to do it in other places. Or do you guys feel like it's necessary? We need to culturally do things just so everybody can see it. And like I said, guys, when you really think about it, everybody projects their culture. So why would you want to suppress one group of people, but everybody else can use, say, and promote and show love to their culture, but you don't want this young lady to? So interesting to me, the dynamic. When you really think about it, the mindset of, like, when you break it down that way, why do you want this girl to suppress her culture? Because you're scared other people might steal it? Or do you have a personal issue with yourself? Or do you think that you really think people are going to steal it? And then if they do, what really can you do about it if they do steal it? What are you going to do? You know, like, people are going to do what they want to do. All right, so let's get into this. This guy says, this is nice. Okay, he says, but we have to keep things sacred. He says Greek life, HBCU life, and traditions have to be kept close to the heart. He says, we already see that over inclusion with things like this got us. We can't continue to give recipes for cultural appropriation. But guess what? You guys know, like all these superstars do, it doesn't matter. I'm just breaking it down just for hindsight, so you know, right? So yeah, Greek life. Yes, my sorority is Alpha Kappa Alpha, that I did when I was in college. And so I get it with the Greek life. I get it with, you know, this style of dance, this energy. This is just even part of, like, when you're stepping and you're doing all the Greek things in that nature. It's all the same, right? And like I said, as far as people taking things, you can see this in artists, right? You can see this in singers. You can see that people will steal it anyways. Especially if you know, or you lived in Houston, or you've gone there in the past 10 to 20 years, you guys know, or if you went to college, like I was in that area, so I seen all that. And it was funny to me how that style of music, the screwed and chopped up music, that's been around for so long, but it didn't really blow up until like a big artist like kind of took it and put it in one of their songs. But they've been doing that down there for a long time, years and years, right? But it took an artist to kind of try to grab it and make it their own, and a lot of times they don't give the creators credit for it, right? So I think, you know, you have to take it with a grain of salt. I'm not saying you shouldn't be have an ideal of concern, but guess what? I mean, you should still be proud that that's part of like who you are, what you've come from, and I wouldn't deny it or repress it. For what, right? He says we can't continue to give recipes for cultural appropriation. Do you guys think that's pushing it, like stretching it? All right, so it says, similarly, a couple of other users said the OP should have just gone to a HBCU if she wanted to be part of a Majorette Team. Well, she told you guys why she didn't go to a HBCU. How you gonna tell this girl where she gotta go? It's so funny to me. Because she explained it. Now I can see if she didn't, then maybe I could see maybe the perception of why some of them have this view, but she told you why she didn't go to HBCU. Let's see. While it says if the cheer was ran like that as far as a road, then I can't be bothered by it. Yeah, if the girls didn't do that, then it would be out of line for a route that was set up. Let's see. The issue is that there is a history of Black culture being appropriated and then not getting the proper credit. Elvis stole Black artists but gives them no credit. Yeah, Big Ben, I talked about that going back. Just basic history of music 101. You don't even have to go to school for this. Just Google and watch a couple of videos or watch some documentaries. Going back to the early 1900s, coming into the 30s, 40s, and 50s, the Black groups could not get on the radio. They would not play their music. And a lot of the big white groups back then, all they did was basically copy and mimic the Black groups. And a lot of the Black groups, just so they can get their music and songs out, they would let the white groups sing their songs and get the fame for their songs, because they wanted at least to have, they know that they wrote the song, they wanted to have that kind of energy, they wanted to have that, you know, in my heart I know it's mine. So yeah, I see the dichotomy of both sides, and thanks for that, Big Ben. Yeah, this is the biggest issue, and this is, like I said, why I was trending, because many people feel that it is going to be culturally appropriated. And I mean, to me, guys, if you really think about it, just using a little bit of logic, it is a predominantly PWI. So I'm pretty sure I say in the next 5 years, it's gonna spin off, because like I just told you, this is the kind of dance that's in music videos. This is the type of dance that's in a lot of pop videos, a lot of rock videos. It's kind of fast energy dancing. So I do believe in the next 5 years, oh yeah, there's gonna be a lot of groups that spawn from it. Probably of all races and cultures, because this is going to be something I know that will probably take this school. It's already a huge school as far as sports and things of that nature. But it's going to catapult them into a whole different level, because this is something that hasn't been done at that school. Or if it has, it's been repressed. Like, it's been done, but nobody is seeing it on the level when you get that mass audience, predominantly white audience, compared to maybe a black audience, right? So yeah, this is such an interesting conversation when you think about it. Let's see. Wally says, what do we do? What do we do to that? What is sacred? Blacks did hip hop, and now every ethnic group is doing it. Nothing sacred. Yeah, Wally. And see, and that's kind of the reality shade of it to me, Wally, is that even if you were trying to keep it sacred, even if you did want to kind of bottle it up and keep it at a certain place, like I told you, if you really are looking in the reality level, and you probably don't know that unless you've been to a historically black college, and or you've studied them, been to many of them, have a lot of friends or family that went to them. A lot of historically black colleges have a lot of international students. So there's a lot of different cultures that are meshed into even the historically black colleges, and a lot of them are becoming predominantly white. I'm going to have to do a stream on that, because I thought I did it, but the dynamic and dichotomy of, some of you don't even know that a lot of these historically black colleges have become predominantly white, or blacks are the minority, because of the schools. They have such good curriculum, good degrees, that a lot of people, not just black people, want to go to these schools, right? Let's see. Wally says, Jules, Big Ben, hey, Princessa, another channel member. Shout out to you and the channel members. Thank you to all that have joined the Finesse family channel membership. It is much appreciated. Princessa says, everybody's opinion is wrong. That's that. Everybody's wrong, Princessa says. That's that. Big Ben says, hey. Ooh, dichotomy, big words. Princessa, I'm one of them. I've been to school type ones. No. But I've always been that way. I love big words. I love big words. And it's so funny, sidebar, guys. In my classes, especially, or when I was working with young adults too, they would hear me talking, and every day I always made it a point to use a new word or a big word in their eyes, right? Just because I wanted their vocabulary to flourish and be well-rounded also. And it's so funny to me that when they hear it, it makes them want to look the word up, and they all got computers in front of them. So it's awesome, because like they actually are using critical thinking too, because they're like, they hear the word, what does it mean? We hear her say it, they'll say like, Miss, can you repeat the sentence? And then they'll Google it. And it's so funny how I have my colleagues or the people come to me and say, you know what, it's blah 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 in your class. We know it's your class because you're the only teacher where they actually are listening, and they will repeat the words that you're saying. And I said, did they use it right? That's all I care about. Did my students use the word right? And they'd be like, no. So yeah, that sounds like my student. But at least they're pushing to want to use big words and try to come outside of their box. So I appreciate that. Oh, shout out to Rachel Davis. Thank you so much for that super chat. Rachel Davis says, I knew that was you. I'm proud of you and keep up doing the good work. Sarah. Oh, Rachel, you know what? I see your name and I was like, wait a minute. That does look like that is my sorority sister, Miss AKA Pretty in Pink lady. So thank you, Rachel. And Rachel too. Make sure we share this with the other sisters too, because I'm trying to get this growing. This is a new thing, but we've been growing because we are sharing, and sharing is caring. So shout out to you. I knew your name looked familiar, guys. This is my AKA sister, Miss Rachel. I'm like, wait a minute, why does this picture look so familiar? All right, thank you, sis. I appreciate it, and thank you for the super chat. Let's see. Wally says, even Elvis didn't praise the source of his music that he gained from black people. No, because guess what? You guys have to think about you have to think about the reality of what it was back then, and you also have to think about that they didn't have to. So when I look at things, I don't really look a lot of times with emotion. I really analyze the whole situation, and that's why a lot of times I can see everybody's perspective. I'm not saying I agree with your perspective, but I always can see it. And to me, I like to see different perspectives because it helps me gauge my thought process, and it helps me gauge myself, to self-reflect, and also to be able to check my own self. And a lot of times people don't, a lot of people are scared to even step to that level to self-check themselves. I have no problem with it. I feel like it's made me the person who I am, and it's made me such a good person because even to the level of, even in my profession, when I'm working with young adults and students, I ask them, like every quarter, I let them grade me. And a lot of you, you scared. You will never let people tell you about really what you are or how they feel about you to them because you're scared. And a lot of you don't want to hear it because that's the truth. You don't want to hear. But I know to make myself a better educator, a better coach, a better even consultant, I have to hear what people feel like I need to improve, feel like that they see from me maybe that I don't. And it's also a good self-reflection because it's very humbling to hear what other people have to say. And a lot of times too, what is it called? Positive, what is it? Not positive. No. Why can I not think of the word? It's so weird. When people give their constructive criticism, a lot of people can't take that either. A lot of people take that personally. And I love constructive criticism because to me, constructive criticism is you trying to tell me that there's a limit or a cap. And I know there is no cap to what I can do and who I am. So with that being said, I love it. I love hearing that type of stuff. Okay, so let me play the video for those of you that didn't see it. Here is the USC Majorettes. Okay, so let's see. Princessa says non-blacks can secure scholarships at HBCUs. Context clues. Wally says the only fair thing in hip hop among other ethnic groups, they do speak on their favorite artist that helps them make their own style or have a similar style or flow. Okay. Big Ben says that's cool, but don't get carried away like Michael Eric Dyson. Yeah, he's the one that loves he loves Jay-Z, doesn't he? Michael Eric Dyson. He's the one he loves Jay-Z. And hip hop. He loves hip hop. That's right. Princessa says headed to Bible study. Talk to you later. Oh, shout out to you, Princessa. Have a good day. Thank you. Okay, Wally says, hey, is it what it is, but truth and realism have with having transparency show more than less, but what do I know? Yeah, that is true though. That is true. And like I said, Wally, it to me, when you really think about it, the whole concept of people really getting their just due, a lot of people kind of don't a lot of times because of like people just stealing and taking things and not giving credit where credit is due, right? So here's another one. It says this is just should have went to an HBCU. That's what people said, that should have been an HBCU. Okay, so here's another one. Somebody says, and I'm showing you guys the comments so you can kind of get a perspective of what people are saying. Everybody complaining about why didn't she go to an HBCU don't realize that maybe the HBCU didn't have her major. No HBCUs near me had my major. Let her and everyone else that makes that decision live. And like I said earlier, it takes just a little Google quick check. She says, she actually posted this. I wanted to go to a HBCU, but the HBCUs that I seen, or any that were, I guess, in my vicinity of my major or whatever, they didn't have what I needed, and also they cost a lot more. And that's so interesting that the HBCUs cost a lot more. But to me, when I think about it, it's very logical that they may cost more, because HBCU does not have the big massive budget as a university or a PWI, where they're getting money from donors, they're getting money from alumni, they're getting wealthy money. And HBCUs, a lot of times, they barely have enough for that year, that next fiscal year. And those of you know that went to HBCUs, how they do. Somebody also says here, if she chose not to go there, she should just understand that joining teams like this are forfeit, just like joining certain sororities are forfeit if you don't go to the schools that have them. Let's see. All right. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Somebody said they're doing their thing right here.
What's up, family? Shout to the women's basketball team.
Hype and congrats. This is another person posted. All right. And this person, her name is Reagan Gomez. She says, love this culture. Our culture belongs to us. We take it with us everywhere we go. Okay. So that person sounds kind of indifferent. And let's see. It says people also made it's interesting to me. How are you going to tell her that she can't express herself or her culture when they project and show positivity towards her culture? This person says, like we don't deserve to be part of the culture because we couldn't afford to go. Black people that go to PWI should be embraced to represent their culture. Otherwise, they'll end up. Yeah, so that could be like a catch-22. Somebody saying the fact that these people have crazy names. The fact that don't go to HBCUs, if they can't express their culture, that's messed up. All right. And then somebody else that's coming from someone who goes to PWI and is also on a team like this. These people in the comments don't know how PWIs work. The Black community, we do know PWI is very much these groups to show a cultural PWI, you're not going to see a lot of people like you. Says y'all in the comments talking crazy like USC ain't in the hood. South Central needs this. So somebody says USC. But I'm very, very interesting, guys. So that's all the comments. I really want to know what you guys think about this conversation. I definitely want you guys to keep the conversation going. Shout out to thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. So this was, once again, it was a topic given to me, and I definitely wanted to discuss it with you guys in the stream. I was going to do just a video, but I said, you know what? I want to talk with you guys about it. So once again, to me, my call to action, or my ideal on this whole thing is, I think it's totally necessary. I think it's super necessary for different groups of people to have something that to help them feel in a safe place, and to help them feel a gratitude about who they are and where they come from. And you guys have heard all the different perspectives. You heard the people that said this is a black thing, this is a cultural thing, you need to do this only at your type of environment, your place, you need to do this at HBCU. And then you see the other side, a lot of people saying, well, hey, guess what, if you've never been to a PWI, you know it's very segregated, you know it's very culture super separated, and they're in their own kind of dichotomy in space. So this is needed. She needed to start this group. She needed a place where she could feel that she was understood, and a place that she felt home. She's from Chicago, and she also said that she did this dance troupe back in Chicago, right? So it's necessary, I think, for people to show who they truly are, and for others to understand who they truly are. And also, if they steal this and they take it, they do. I mean, and it wouldn't be the first time, because guess what? A lot of anything that has that's going to affect a lot of people, that's going to be something super popular, people are going to steal it and take it, right? And that's just what it is. But I still don't think they should honestly suppress what they're doing and who they are, right? So once again, guys, thank you, BGH, for the super chat. Is appreciated. Thank you, Miss Rachel. I appreciate you. She says, I'm so proud of you. Keep up the good work. I appreciate you for that. Thank you for all of you guys that liked the stream. Thank you for all you guys that shared the stream. Sharing is caring. So share this. Continue this conversation, because this is really, really interesting, guys. The sides and why people think what they do. But I think if you focus on your mindset, and you really focus on, if you were in a situation where you, it is only you or only your group or kind, and there's another group that's the majority, how would you feel? Would you assimilate? That's what I was going to title this, assimilation. Would you assimilate just to be part of the group, or would you keep your own self, your own solitude? Would you keep your own, what makes you you, and what makes you very proud you are? Would you keep that, or would you assimilate? So that's a conversation to be had, and hopefully you guys got to see all perceptions of this. Hopefully you got a mindset shift in the fact that you don't have to agree with it, but you see all different sides of this, and you see why people are thinking what they're thinking. So once again, guys, if you're new to the channel, hey, Miss Ine, hopefully you're having a great day. Appreciate you, original Finesse family member. But once again, guys, sharing is caring. Let's grow this platform. Let's grow these conversations. Make sure you guys are sharing. That's how we got here to this 1,000, and that's how we're going to get to our next level, to our hundreds of thousands to millions. That's what we're going to do, because we have these conversations here that help our communication and all our relationships dealing with people, wealth, money, mindset. It's so important to have these conversations. And also, guys, these are conversation starters that you can have with family, and family too, to see what the perception and the mindsets that you guys all have. So make sure you guys do that. Keep the conversations going. Don't let it just stop here. And also, guys, if there's different topics, some of you have sent me things and I'm working on them. But if there's something specific that you see, a topic you want to talk about, make sure you email me or message or put it in the comment section. Let me know. Also, too, I always say this because it's super important, guys. It helps in the algorithm. Make sure you guys comment. Once the stream ends, go back and comment on what you agree, disagree with, what you thought about the stream as far as your insight into it. And go back to 5 to 10 streams if you haven't, and comment on them. Let people know what you thought about the stream, what you got from it, what you liked about the stream, what was interesting. That helps in the algorithm, and that helps the channel's growth, guys. And once again, guys, I appreciate you guys. You guys have an awesome day. Freestyle Finesse Friday is Friday. Those are the topics you guys give me. We have a finesse mindset, mindful mindset, talk about all different topics going on in society, trending things. We talk about things dealing with health, wealth. We talk about all kind of things, and we always bring it back to that finesse mindset, and that stands for faithfully innovate to inspire, to be naturally effective, and to seek success every day. Once again, Finesse stands for to faithfully innovate, to inspire, to be naturally effective, to seek success every day. Acronym, and that's what it stands for. And I hope you guys model that Finesse mindset every day. So once again, you guys have a great day. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to all the channel members. Shout out to those that supported to the channel and sponsored this today. And you guys have a great day. All right, guys. All right. Oh, au revoir. See you guys later. Friday. See you guys Friday. Make sure you set the Friday and the next stream too, because I put it out. All right. Have a good day, guys.